You're in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible, because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and six-shield general, fourth in command in the nation of Israel, Lashawan. I'd like to salute this brother. Macho! Barak! Yeshabim, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to priest General Lashawan.
Water, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
Shalom, Israel. It's time to come get your full dose of truth for the week.
You got Mondays, history class, taught by Officer 500 Shariwan and Officer 500 Ahabawan. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, you got Word to the Unwise podcast from 6 to 7 p.m. Followed by the main event, Captain and Priest Hadarya teaching scripture breakdown, the Bible like you never heard it before. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Wednesday, we got Priest and Officer 1000 Awaja teaching you all about the law. Tune in. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday, you got myself, Priest and Officer 5000 Kazak Amath, joined by Priest and Officer 500 Barak Yah, teaching you the Brotherhood class from 5 to 7 p.m. Friday, learn to speak in the Holy Tongue, the Lashawan Qadash class, taught by Officer 1000 Qatar. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. How about Shem Shabbat? What's going on, sir?
Hey, shalom, priest. Yahweh Shemir Shabbat.
And Yahweh Shemar Latah Bashem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. This is the Lashawan Qadash class every Friday at 7 p.m. I am Officer of 50 Ka'ar, filling in for Katab with the assistance of the mighty Officer of 1,000 Shariwan out of Windsor.
Water, priest, for your kind words. I appreciate you.
And yeah, no sweat, sir. And what I got pulled up here, well, first, we're gonna get back to the basics of the Hebrew language. Just learning the basics of where it started, just the root of it all, the root of all languages, which is Hebrew. So let's get to the root of Hebrew. What I got pulled up here is a Wikipedia of the Siloam inscription. I'm just gonna read this out. It says the Siloam inscription, or Silwan inscription, or Shiloh inscription, known as the KAI 189, is a Hebrew inscription found in the Siloam tunnels, which brings water from the Gihon spring to the pool of Siloam, located in the city of David in East Jerusalem. It says neighborhood of Silwan, or Shalom in the Bible. The inscription records the construction of the tunnel, which has been dated to the 8th century BC on the basics of the writing style. It is only known ancient inscription from ancient Israel and Judah, which commemorates a public construction work. So this was an inscription that basically was explaining how they built this tunnel. And if you see in this inscription, it's written in the Lashawan Qadash, the Paleo Hebrew.
Is it possible to zoom in on that anymore? Yeah, I can see right there the Quaba. I believe if you look in the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary, they have this artifact in there. You can read out the characters a little bit better.
I'm gonna see if I can pull that up. If you wanna keep reading.
So like I don't have that article pulled up to keep reading.
Okay, yeah, you said Zondervan Pictorial.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe you can look up just an image of the Siloam inscription. I thought it might show the inscription a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because that's a heavy piece of artifact that you're bringing out. It's a heavy information, because a lot of our enemies like to teach that the Lashawan Qadash was made up. and you bringing out the basics of the Hebrew, you know, it a part of that begins with, you know, learning and teaching and understanding that this was our language. You know what I mean?
Can you see that, sir?
Khan, can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Um,
If it's possible, because that one looks like I can read it a lot better.
How's that, sir? Most lucky.
It's showing the same thing.
Okay. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
there you go. Yep, I can see that now.
God, and this look like they kind of highlighted the actual characters on there.
Khan.
Yeah, that's heavy, sir.
Like what? Like we can read that. You know what I mean? In the Hebrew, we read right to left. You know what I mean? Like I can see what's that? Nakwabar.
God,
You know what I mean?
that's
What's that? Hazar Kwaba. What's that? Kwabakwa or Korbar. Ha Kwaba. You know what I mean? Like we can see. You know this language. What did it have a date on that Wikipedia?
Salakia. It says it was found in the 8th century, or it said the construction of the tunnel, which has been dated to the 8th century. So they saying, so it was probably written around the 8th century.
Right. That's almost 3,000 years ago.
God,
That's heavy.
God.
Yeah. So like I don't want to take over the class. So keep
No,
keep going. You know what
please.
I mean? And anything you want to bring out on this,
I just want to add, like you said, uh, it's just so heavy that the ISUBK and the seven heads was able to resurrect the understanding in the Paleo Hebrew. You know what I mean? Especially with our oppressors and enemies getting a hold of the language and bastardizing it in such a way. But to bring it back to the roots is heavy.
Con.
And yeah, this kind of. Yep. It says the Shalom inscription records the construction of Hezekiah's tunnel in the 8th century BC and demonstrates one of the oldest examples of the ancient Paleo Hebrew alphabet. It says in the 19th century, it was damaged when thieves cut it from the tunnel wall. Yeah, we know those was more than likely some devils.
Right. They always do that. You see, what in Maccabees, they went and burned our goddamn temple. You know what I mean? Burned our records, the Bible. You know what I mean? They've always done this. And this is why we say in UPK it's so stupid, that they didn't get rid of the Bible. You know what I mean? When they tried to destroy our history from us.
Right.
They should have destroyed those records and never let us get a hold of it. Salakia.
God, I definitely heard the generals say that. Like the dumbest thing they could have done was leave us these records. But it just shows you that the Most High just was leaving a way for us to come all the way back to our culture in fullness, to even our own language. Like that's heavy. You know what I mean? To for the seven heads to study this and kind of or not kind of but like to resurrect it when they did, just like in the libraries, no real access to internet. Like it take the spirit of the Lord to do something like that.
God. And if I could add, Like what you just said is exactly what the prophet Zephaniah was speaking on. When he said he would return to us a pure language.
God,
You know what I mean? Like just like exactly word for word how you said it. It could have only have been the Most High. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, it speaks on that in the book of Revelations. I believe that's chapter 5, where it says the what was that? John. He was having that vision, and what he was seeing in verse 5 or chapter 5. He was sad because nobody had the power to open up the book.
God,
You know what I mean? And it wasn't until Yahushai and what he did and overcame, he was the only brother worthy to open the book and give that knowledge back to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Salakia.
God. Yeah, it's just so heavy, and that's what's so special about this class because we are teaching, we teaching an essential part of our culture. You know what I mean? Because it's not our language. Not only is it not our language, this is not our land. This is not our culture. Like, so to have the access to speak the way the men of old, the way we originally did. You know what I mean? Like, it's just heavy. And I
Yeah,
got.
right.
I'm going to pull up that. Okay, Slovakia. Um, 1 second. I'm trying to pull up that Hebrew vowels so we can. 1 second, Slovakia, sir.
No sweat. While you get that, shout out to everybody in the chat. The water for tuning in. We got the big priest Awadja in the building. Shalom Adawanya Bashim Shabbat.
I was just,
To everybody tuned in, if you could make sure you hit that like button. You know what I mean? Like, share, subscribe. Get this truth out. These Hebrew classes. Get these Hebrew classes out so our people can learn our language. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, Ka'ar, but you know, you ever hear how would I put it? You ever hear when they say to a black man, "You don't sound black" or "You don't speak black"?
God.
Yeah, like that phrase is one of the most irritating phrases I have ever heard. Because
God.
it's like, you understand that we were colonized, we had our language beaten out of us,
Right.
and to sit there and say, to a black Hispanic or indigenous man, you don't speak black. It man, it is so heartless. You know what I mean? Like, it lacks so much compassion because this isn't our language.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't care what accent you have. You're speaking English. You're not speaking black.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to add on to why this class is so powerful, because, and I've been sharing some of these videos from the Passover recently, because I'm watching blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous speak black.
God.
They're speaking Hebrew. That I saw thousands of brothers and sisters, children, you know what I mean? People of all ages speaking the Lashawan Qadash, praying to the Most High in our language. And it's such a beautiful thing. Salaki.
Kind no, and that'd be the heaviest part about Passover. You know,
Hmm.
like hearing those prayers, and then you got the whole nation there. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just so biblical. It's back to, the Israelites, us back in the wilderness again every time we do it.
Damn right.
So it's always so heavy. But what I got here, I got the Slovakia. This is from the book. If you could enlighten me, sir.
God, this is from a book, and to any brother or sister who's in the school, uh, we had a on the ISUPK website. We have a recommended book list, and these books are filled with some of the amazing life changing information. And one of the books is called the Basics of Biblical Hebrew and Grammar. And you read through that book, and it will help you understand. It will literally give you the basics of biblical Hebrew, so that you can learn to speak the language in totality. And this is just a page, one of the pages from that book.
Con,
Yep.
So it says title is Hebrew vowels, and it says Hebrew vowels. You might be surprised to learn that originally the Hebrew language had no written systems of vowels. It says this did not mean, however, that Hebrew vowels did not exist. So like it, this did not mean, however, that Hebrew vowels did not exist. While they did not exist in written form, they had always been present in the spoken form of the language. It says if we were to take the vowels out of the English writing system, these vowels would still be present and spoken from a form of the language. An English translation of Deuteronomy 6 and 5 serves as an example. Love Yahweh, or we would say Yahweh, your God with all your heart. Without the vowels, we are left with a series of consonants, much like the ancient written form of Hebrew. Love Yahweh, your God, with all your heart.
If I could,
And I,
like, what what some people don't realize is so heavy is that, like, this is telling you that the ancient written form of Hebrew was just a series of consonants.
God,
You know what I mean? And what scholars uh, had a tough time understanding is that because they speak English, or they speak their Assyrian Hebrew, they only can understand the language from their lens. You know what I mean? So when you see a character without a vowel in it, you still have to make a sound. And for brothers to understand that better, for brothers and sisters to understand that better, um, you just got to study and look up how noises are formed. You know what I mean? And it starts getting into just how you form your lips, how you move your tongue, how you move your cheeks. And you ever see a baby speak Ka'ar? Like, they just blurt out noises. You know what I mean? And so when it's saying that there's a language that had no vowels, or that the ancient Hebrew had no vowels, they just weren't sure, on how to put the language together. But you keep reading, it'll break it down a little better. So, like, I think you're on mute, Car. Yeah, there you go.
All right, Salakia. It says, in order to read this sentence out loud, you would need to rely on your knowledge of English and supply the necessary vowels. In the same way, when Joshua read the entire law of Moses to the Israelites, Joshua Joshua 8, 8th chapter, he had before him a cons,
Consonantal.
consonantal
Yep.
text with no vowels. This required Joshua to supply from memory the necessary vowels when reading.
God.
For us, this is not the case today.
Now check this out, Car.
Okay.
When we write out our characters, do we write out vowels or do we just write out one character?
Yeah. Allah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind.
Like Joshua, he just had the consonants.
Right.
That's all he had to read it.
Kind.
This is exactly how we write out our Hebrew today. You know what I mean? You looked at the inscription that you brought up earlier. It's just consonants. You know what I mean? Keep on reading. I think just maybe one more sentence.
It says in the second half of the first millennium AD, a group of dedicated scribes called the Masoretes became concerned with preserving the oral tradition or spoken form of Hebrew.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
They developed an elaborate system of vowel notation called pointing.
So now, when you look at the Assyrian today, if you were to pick up the scrolls in the Hebrew on how they have it today, you ever see all the different dots and the lines that they have?
Yeah.
Because that is the pointing system that these Masoretes created. They developed an elaborate system to come up with vowels to be able to speak the Hebrew. You
So
see what I'm saying?
kind of like, so, and these wasn't Israelites then.
I would have to. I have to double check that. I have to double check through my notes on that.
Kind, okay.
You know what I mean? But I want to say off the top of my head that these were the Amalekites. But I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. You know, you understand? But either way, these group of individuals called the Masoretes, they developed this vowel system to be able to speak the Hebrew that they speak today. Now, you go back in time, Joshua didn't have this.
Right.
But was he able to speak Hebrew without it?
God.
Yeah, he was. You can bring this down. I remember and I'm not gonna go too far, and I don't want to take over the class on you, but there was I remember there was a debate recently with those fake Israelites, and somebody was defending the Lashawan Qadash, and somebody was defending the Assyrian Hebrew, and some of the things that people who defend the Assyrian say is you can't pronounce the language without the pointing system. But how did Joshua do it?
Right.
Because Joshua didn't have it. You see what I'm saying? Now, you look at the Siloam inscription. Do you see any vowel points?
So it's like it. So say again.
In the Siloam inscription, were there any vowel points?
Oh no, lie. That was Paleo Hebrew.
Paleo Hebrew. It doesn't exist. Now, what you would have to say, what you would have to conclude is that either these people didn't speak at all, they didn't talk, or they couldn't read what it is they wrote down, or like we read about from what Joshua did, is he read it without the pointing system.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
With con.
So it's like people have a what they call a conundrum, or you know what I mean? Like you gotta pick a side. Either you're gonna say that these people didn't read what it is they were writing down, or maybe you just don't understand the ancient Hebrew.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is so beautiful again, what we did in the ISUPK to be able to resurrect this language, because what did you see at Passover, Car? Where
I saw a
people
bunch of niggas speaking it.
speaking it, right?
Yeah.
So what that tells me is you don't need a vowel system.
Right.
You don't. And if you look up what a consonant is, and you learn and study what a syllable is,
Con.
you just start to learn that wait a minute, you can pronounce characters without vowels. Yeah.
And for me, I'm not gonna skip ahead, but I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
the quick study that you gave me, how you breaking it down now is connecting.
God.
It's connecting why you don't need those vowels.
Most High in Christ.
So I see. And yeah, that's heavy.
God. And and I'll end with this, because like I was when I was talking to you about this car, like this is the basics to our language.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as you start to, read sentences, one of the things you got to keep in mind is that how did General Haas say it? This is like a syllabic what was that word?
Symbolic.
No, syllables. I think he said like syllabilic. I forget the word.
Yeah, no.
But it's like you're reading syllables.
God.
You know what I mean? You're sounding out syllables. And each of our characters, except for one, which is the I, it's a language of consonants. And we can speak it and read it just fine.
Right.
Salaki.
Shout out to little man in the back. But yeah, God, sir. God, that's yeah.
Which Salagi, can you hear him yelling out, where?
Yeah, God. Yeah.
You telling me he can't speak?
Right. God.
That's the War character right there. He's making a sound.
Yeah, and he's saying something. He ain't just screaming.
Good.
I mean, you ask them sisters, they know exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. Get
that's
that
why
some milk.
That's why he stopped. Your Rib know exactly what he was saying. But let me see if this light. I'm gonna try another marker. That ain't showing up good. Try green. Can you see that on your phone fine? It's cool. It's just that light glare, huh?
It's not that bad, but if you do have a different color, it might show up better.
Yeah, I think a different color will show up better. I'm gonna start out. Besides, I'm gonna say them while I'm writing. So we just gonna write out the alphabet in order. We're gonna write the Paleo Hebrew and the sound. Then we're gonna write out the Assyrian along with it. So ba, ga, da, wa, za. I should have gave them a little space. I'm cheating a little bit. Yeah. Let me get them all down and then I'll say it. Wow. I don't like that.
Slug and priest after the check after your eye.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, the water, sir. All right.
Slug and check that tazah between the pa and the qua.
God, the water, sir. Yeah, I should have gave him a little more space, but I know for next time. So look, we're just gonna say them, and if you learning, if you new at this, I would suggest as you writing it down, as I would suggest it, write them down in fives, say them in fives, repeat that five about 5 times. So if you start off with you can write, you write the character, then you write the sound, ba, ga, da, ha. Ba, ga, da, ha. So you write those down, write those sounds down, and then say them 5 times. Ba, ga, da, ha. Ba, ga, da, ha. Repeat it in your head, become repetition. Then you move on to the next 5 characters. You got wa, za, ha, ta, waza, ha, ta, ya. And yes, you have to put that ha on that. Go ahead. It's ha. Am I saying that right, sir? Is my pronunciation right?
Yeah, you got it perfect.
Yeah, you gotta like ha. I can't even tell you.
I remember Salagi, what a man above me taught me. Shout out Officer Hazahab at the headquarters.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're getting ready to spit, or like hork up spit. And you say that after that C letter, the ka. You kind of turn that into like you're spitting.
Like you about to hawk up a loogie.
Yeah.
That's how you say that. So first 5, ba, ga, da, ha. Say that 5 times, get them down. Now you know the first 5 of the Hebrew alphabet. Move on to the next 5. Wazachataya. And you say those 5. Wazachataya. Wazachataya. So now you got the first 10 down. Abagadaha. Wazachataya. Moving on. Ka. And that's why it's important to really emphasize that this character, ha, because that could turn into ka when you're talking. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my name is Kha'ar, really. Kha'ar. But, you know, I'm not gonna stop a brother when he say Kha'ar. You know. But once he get in the class, he'll know, oh, your name, Kha'ar. I am Ka La Ma Na Sa. Right? Or is that too much? Not yet. That's 5 too. Ka La Ma Na Sa. So now you 15 in. Yes, baby. I love you too. Thank you. You gonna learn the alphabet? Learn the Hebrew alphabet? Are you paying attention? So we're on the next 5, which is Ka La Ma Na Sa. Get those 15 down. We're 15 in. Abagadaha Wazachataya Ka La Ma Na Sa. I Pa Taza Kwa Rai I Pa Taza Kwa Ra. And you just add those last 2 in there. Sha and Tha. Now you have the Hebrew alphabet. Like I said, if you are a beginner, it's best to really write these down, say them as you're writing. And I say write it out 100 times, as I was ordered to do. But I tell you what, I did not remember it until I started saying it in 5s. And I got it down. At that point, when I started doing that, got it down in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? And Shaiwan is my witness because he the one that told me to do that. After him telling me to write it down 100 times, I did that order. I came in. He was like, well, do you remember it? No, I couldn't. You know what I mean? But I know I could recognize them. You know what I mean? I had that down. I had the recognition down. But when he told me, say it in 5s, I remembered it. And it was that easy. Abba gada ha was a kata ya kala mana sa ipa taza kwa ra shatha. And there's your Hebrew alphabet. Let's get that Assyrian down. You know. Let's not dread the Assyrian. You know. It's very useful. It's definitely, you're going to need it. As you may think you don't. Again, I can attest to the fact that you may need it. Let's use blue. I myself, I am going to lock in. I'm gonna really get this Assyrian down myself. bear with me as I get this down. Mm. Yeah, man. This, we gonna take it in stride stuff. Let's put a little more emphasis on that one. Tell you what, it's hard. It's hard to imagine anybody writing this on a day to day. But I guess that's why they had scribes back then, huh? Because like everybody wasn't right, and you can tell like there's some like these characters are like such. There's some bouginess in it, if you know what I mean, sir. You know what I mean? It's like somebody who don't want
Yeah.
nobody else to write like that.
Bougie is a good word because
Yeah.
like you look up historically, the Assyrian is actually like almost like a uppity way of how they wrote the Hebrew.
Yeah. It seems like how the white man to take the rock and roll and try to make it sophisticated.
Yeah,
Or he'll take our, rap and try to make it sophisticated.
God.
You know what I mean? When we just going off the spirit. They gotta put their analytics in. That's what this writing is like. It's like analytics. We gonna get it down, man. Cause like I said, you're not gonna. I'm not gonna say you're not, but it's hard to find a Paleo Hebrew. It's hard to find a Paleo Hebrew out there, which again, why it's so heavy, and it proves that the Most High is with the ISUPK. You know what I mean?
God.
Because he kept his language holy, man. It's the Lashawan Qadash. Come on, man.
Yeah, if I could too, even when you look at the characters, because like that's what they are, they're images, they're actual images.
God.
When you look at the Assyrian, they're starting to lose the original image of what it was. You know what I mean? Like that first character, that Alap, that's a picture of an ox's head.
God. And if you want to, sir, you want me to get into that before we finish this?
Yeah. Which part?
Or no, we're gonna do that last.
Yeah. As soon as you get done this, you can get into that. This is the brothers and sisters watching an ISUPK tradition that every Hebrew class we always go over the alphabet.
Okay, God.
You know what I mean? The beginning of every class. This is what blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous need. You know what I mean? Just like, you teach a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, how to learn English. What do? You teach them the alphabet. You start getting them just to sound out 3-letter words.
Right.
You know what I mean? They keep it simple. They try to keep it basic, and they ingrain that alphabet into your head. You know what I mean? And so, we do the same thing. It's for every language. You got to learn the alphabet first. That's where it starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1 second. Stop. Don't mess the cup up. Just sit the cup down, okay? Thank you. Yeah, I know. One second. One second. You're supposed to be paying attention to class. Hey. Okay, and then the alternate endings. All right. Make sure y'all get that Assyrian down. Last week, Qadash said my hair right was good. You know. Yes, it kind of is. It do look good. All right, let's get the sounds down. That is still get it confused. Just because it looked different, the sound of the character is still the same. Now you just got to kind of correlate and remember those characters.
And if I could add one thing,
please, sir.
When you're writing that Assyrian out, always put the two characters. For I think there's 5 characters that have 2 different symbols.
Khan. Yeah, Khan. I was gonna line those up. Those alternate. Oh yeah, I wrote 2 eyes. That's why. Right?
Yeah, and I might have to pay you, Kahar, to take down some notes for me, because yeah, your penmanship is very wild.
What the Most High in Christ. All right, that's a Assyrian. Now, what's special or what's different? Let me say that. What's different about the Assyrian? The Assyrian has what you would call alternate endings for some characters, meaning when you write in a word and you're using these characters, let's say ka, for example. This is the ka, and when you're, let me think of I'm not even gonna try, but let's say you're using that character, or Salakia, that's the ya. The ka, yeah, this one. The ka, when you're using it, when this goes at the end of a word, the ending, the character change. And that would be that. So now ka looks like this at the end when it's used at the end of a word. Remember, Hebrew is written from right to left. If you haven't noticed, I've been writing from right to left. That's why. Hebrew is written in red from right to left. Whereas, English is written from left to right. Ma also has a alternate ending. a square character. And to your point, sir, what you said earlier, you start to see that these characters start losing they original, meaning, or the look of it start to lose its original purpose, as we will get into later. These characters were like pictograms or pictures of what
Con.
the people were seeing. They was just putting the pictures to what they were seeing and correlating it with a sound. If I'm
Yep.
saying that right, sir.
Yep. That's it. I think the only characters in the Assyrian where I kind of see a picture still is the Ta. Like that Ta it's a picture of a basket.
Got
Um,
it. Okay.
I think the Ta in Assyrian, you could almost say, okay, instead of now looking at it straight down, maybe you're looking at it from the side now.
Right. God. Okay.
And what was the other one? The Ta and the Gamal, the Ga. It's like they still tried to keep that the neck of the camel,
Oh, okay.
because Gamal, that Ga means a camel. But everything else, I swear they lost. You know what I mean? They got rid of the pictures.
Right. And then that's where like I was trying to say earlier, like you could, when we going off the spirit up here, where we just write what we seeing, what the Most High has laid out for us, you kind of see the analytics that they try to put into the
Right, yeah. God.
you know what I mean, math or whatever. So let's go through these alternate endings. Ka has an alternate ending when it's used at the end of a word. That's the character. Ma also, that's the character when it's at the end of a word. So when it's in the middle, you just use these top characters, or at the beginning. But when it's used at the end, you use these characters. Na also. And then you have Taza. And then Kwa. And like I said, that's just the Assyrian. That's like the Paleo Hebrew is not like that. But when you're using the Assyrian, or when you're reading the Assyrian, you have to watch out, have to know those characters when you've seen it at the end. And especially because a lot of these characters look the same. So you kind of got to look out for that as well. You see this in the beginning, it'll be a da. You know what I mean? But you see it at the end, it's not a da no more. It's a ka. So, you have to know that, like I said, that the Paleo Hebrew, you're not going to find as much, and I'm going to reiterate, which is so heavy because the Most High has kept it holy. You know what I mean? Which is why a lot of our detractors and enemies would like to say we just made this shit up. You know what I mean? But as we proved in the beginning, the Paleo Hebrew was on ancient artifacts. You know what I mean? It wasn't none of this or those vowels, the pointing system. That wasn't on there either. It was this. And the Most High chose to keep this holy by keeping it away from the mass of the world. You know what I mean? So, like I said, get it down. I say do the same thing for the Assyrian. That's going to be my homework. I'm going to write the Assyrian down 100 times. I'm going to write the Assyrian down 100 times, and then I'm going to say them in fives. I'm going to remember these characters. Most High willing. In about a week or two, I can come up here and write this whole thing now without cheating. So, get it down, write it in your notebook. You want to get that, what you was kind of speaking on earlier, sir, about the pictorials and the original.
So, and this is kind of kind of to the point of what I was saying, where like when you look at the Assyrian and it starts getting away from the actual pictures of an image, when you get back to the ancient, the ancient Lashawan Qadash, like each of these pictures have a meaning, and that meaning helps make up the words that we have in the Hebrew today. And for example, when you look at the ah in the Assyrian, that is not a picture of an ox's head. You know what I mean? They just tried to make some, what do they call it? Like handwriting of the ah. You know what I mean? They try to make the ah look fancy, wherein there's a purpose for having the picture of an ox's head. It's almost like they would have done themselves better justice if they got an artist to draw the picture of an ox's head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that would have so much more meaning. You just put some scribbly lines together, you start to now get into more of a deceptive type of language, which is why, again, one of the first things you learn in the ISUPK is that our oppressor is the devil. He is a deceiver. When you get to the Paleo Hebrew, these words are not meant to be deceptive. Like the men above me, they always say, our language is like a barbaric language. It's very to the point. It's to the point. It's not deceptive. You know what I mean? Like the way we speak is like, woman, come here now.
Right.
Woman, go there now. Child, son, pick this up today. There's no deception to it. We speak very straightforward. We speak very aggressive. And there's no room for deception in the way we speak. Right down to you even say a word itself, each word has a meaning to it. You know what I mean? And I believe you'll get into that as we get further on in the class.
I am currently trying to pull it up. 1 second, Salakia. Man. Salakia, bear with me. It's a little difficult trying to pull it up when it's not on the internet. That's the You see that? Or is it still the file? Yeah.
It's showing some files right now.
Salakia.
Are you able to pull it up on your phone?
1 second. I think I figured it out. 1 second. I just gotta find it.
it would be good as well to be able to write them down on the board.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna do that and have it kind of playing on the side too. All right, so like yeah, it's not popping up. I just did it though. That's what's bothering me. I just did it. Oh, okay. Hold on. I think we got it. Yes, sir. There we go. All right. Should I do it? Boom. Yeah, that look good. All right. Hope y'all got that down. I'm gonna rest this. If you want to kind of talk about it again while I'm
Kind, no sweat.
ready, it's a lot.
So what Ka'ar was just writing down was he wrote down the alphabet. Um, Sometimes I get this wrong. I think it's 22 characters that we have, 22 characters in total in the Hebrew. And what he was writing down was the pronunciation of each character, right? Which is getting into what we had, he had broke down earlier on not needing vowels. You know what I mean? We can speak an entire language with consonants. And the only exception is the ayan, which is an eye. It's your eyeball, right? Ayan. And every other character, again, we just use those syllables. And so what's good to understand, when you're also learning the basics of the Hebrew, is to know what each character means and what it is. So that first character that we see, which is a picture of an ox's head or a cow, that word is alap. That first character is alap. And that's just the word, the meaning of a cow.
You can start with those. And while you speaking on it, so we're gonna write down the characters as well. We got Abagada Hawaza Hataya up there.
Now, if you could, just to the side, put the spell out Abba.
Got it.
So I can explain, maybe put it in like the middle of the board.
Okay.
And we just make it big so everybody can see.
Hey, play in the back. Hey, stop. I don't want you to hit the camera. Hey, I don't want you to hit the camera. Go in the back.
So when you put an ah and a ba together, what you have is the first Hebrew word in our language. And it's the word Abba. And what that word means in English is father. Now, in the Hebrew, we also got to understand that each character has its own meaning. So that first character, Alap, means cow. And what cow is a representation of is strength. A cow is a representation for something that is strong. Then you have the character beside it, which is Bayath. And what Bayath is a picture or a depiction of a house. So what does that mean for Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous speaking this language? That word Abba is damn near translated as the strength of the house. Maybe if you could write that down, Ka'ar, so people can take some notes on that. You have the ox head, which represents strength. And then you have the bayath, which is a picture of a house or a tent. And you put those together, what do you have? You have the strength of the house. Now, in English, Ka'ar, what does father mean?
What does father mean?
God. Maybe let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. If I were to say the word father, what do you think of?
Head of the house.
Head of a house? I had never heard somebody say that. Like,
that's why I kind of hesitated, because what do we, in the English language and in America, the father is disrespected. So
that's right. So it's like a father you could just be what do they call it, a seed donor. You could be a baby daddy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just simply means that you're somebody who's had a child or has children. You know what I mean? Let me look up the definition, the Webster's definition. This is the AI overview. It says a father is a male parent.
A male parent.
The man who begets or brings up a child. You go to another definition that says biological parent. A man who begets a child. Or a social or legal parent. A man who fills the parental role. Another one, the last one they have is a creator or founder, is a person who establishes, creates, or originates something, such as founding fathers. And these are those are the typical definitions.
Right.
They have one here which I think is interesting. They actually added in a male guardian offering protection and guidance.
That was probably the best one.
Right? That's the best one. And I've never heard that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I've never heard that definition until I got in the ISUPK. Salagi.
God. And this, how you breaking this down, or how it's broken down, now you start to understand more how the Bible is written in metaphors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And or who is really speaking, and you understand the language a little more. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not literally saying the cow in the house. You know what I mean? It's representing strength, because we are farming people, right? Am I right to connect that? Since we
You say
are farming
you say
people,
farming?
yeah, or agricultural people,
Mm.
you
God.
know, us using that cow or a bull, you know what I mean, being synonymous with a bull, that would be the
God.
strongest thing we would,
Yeah,
interact with on a daily.
that's heavy.
You know what I'm saying? And then our tent, our house, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's like you start to see the metaphorical speaking in the language in itself. So yeah,
God.
this is we could go through it again, sir. If I may recap, Abba, which means father. Then when you break down those characters, you got the I, and the ba. Remember, the sound or the pronunciation of the characters is written. You write it in English, and it's written left to right, but the characters are actually written right to left.
Mm-hmm.
Ba. So the or the alap, and this is what I put up here at the top there. The alap means cow,
God.
symbolizing strength. The
Mm-hmm.
ba, that character, um, is bayath, which is tent or house. And now you
Mm-hmm.
got that word father meaning strength of the house.
God.
So yeah, that's heavy. So if y'all want to get this done before I erase it, I'm gonna continue on and writing all those characters that you see on the right. That picture on the right there is all the characters, and please, you probably know how to say it better. So then the the word the word alap, back there, please. The word alap is cow
God.
and is shortened down to I to make the character.
So the a better way to say it is that character that we're writing down is an alap,
Khan.
which is a picture of a cow.
Okay, Khan.
And the ah, just the A and the H,
Mm-hmm.
is how we pronounce that character.
Khan.
So that Abba Gadaha, those are just the pronunciation.
Right.
That's all that
Of the
is.
character, but
That's
the
right.
actual character itself is a alap, is a cow.
Khan. It's an alap.
And the ba is an actual tent. It's the bayat. Okay.
Right.
Khan.
So if we were speaking like the a correct way to say it is this character is an alap.
Mm.
This
Okay.
character is a bayath.
Right.
How you pronounce the bayath is a ba.
Okay. Khan.
How you pronounce a gamal is a ga.
Right. Because now and then when you putting these characters together, you got the meaning behind those characters within the word.
Correct.
Mm. Yeah, man, that's beautiful, man.
Yep.
That's definitely beautiful.
I'll give you I'll give you one more.
Please do.
And the only reason I'm giving this one was because I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying, they were telling somebody that one of my son's name was Honor. All right, but in the Hebrew, his name is Kabad Ya Allah. Okay, so if you could write that up on the board, Kabad with a K.
Okay, Khan. Right. See, that's
Yep.
what pronunciation is. Oh, because I was instantly thinking, I'm gonna write it out first. You said kabad.
Yep. KABADYAAHLA.
Y A L-A. Kabaya Allah.
Khan.
Wrote that out from left to right. That's how it's pronounced.
Yep.
I'm gonna write it out from left to right. Let me.
Now, like when we broke down Abba, right? Abba just means father in English.
Khan.
But when you break it down into Hebrew, that word Abba now has so much more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like this is the strength of the house.
Right.
Now, kabod in English, and this is what, like when you look at the King James version, they say this is the best word. This
Right.
is the best, most closest word we could use to translate this.
Right.
They would say kabod is honor.
Honor.
Yeah, honor. But if we break it down in the Hebrew, you have a ka,
Mm-hmm.
right, which is a kop. That means the palm of hand.
Dang, I want to write that. Salaki.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can write that down right now. Let me do that, sir. Salaki.
Yep.
That would be very helpful. I'll leave that series alone. But you said the actual character is
It's a kop, which means the palm of hand.
Khan. Cop. Is that cop?
Yep, kop.
Okay.
So you have a palm of hand, which when you put out your palm of hand, it's like you're almost telling somebody to like look what I'm holding.
Right.
So almost you could use a word, say behold.
Behold. Okay. So the
Right.
cop would be behold.
Then you have a bayath. And the bayath is a house.
House. Khan.
Right?
Khan.
Then you have a dalath, which is a door.
Right.
Right? So what you're saying almost to somebody, you're telling somebody like, look at the entrance of this house.
Khan.
And then it says Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya is a preposition meaning of, and all it means power. So, sometimes people hear the word Elohim, right? Elohim or all or Allah, right? That word all just means power.
Khan.
So it's like my son's name is actually more closer to like, behold, the entrance to this house is of power. And when you just say that his name is honor, you're taking away so much meaning from what the Hebrew is.
God.
You see what I'm saying?
God.
So these characters, like when you take the time to look at each character and you put the word together, a lot of times this could have so much more meaning. And many times what we do when let's say we're naming a brother, a lot of these words that we have, they're always used in context. So if, let's say, like you're a brother, you come into the school and you get a name, right? You get your name, like you've done your 90 days, you get your name. The priest that anoints you and gives you that new name, he gives you a scripture with that name.
God.
Because that scripture gives you context to what your name means in that context. If that makes sense.
God.
And so, and this is why I say, like, when you break down the characters to each character inside of your name, it can have so much meaning. Because these are pictures. And then you put that word into context of something. It's like, okay, this is what we're saying.
Right, you got the full meaning.
You know what I mean?
God.
Because like Kabadia Allah without context, we're kind of like, okay, this could mean so many different things.
Right.
But what we do know is that like there's something we need to be paying attention to. There's some kind of building with an entrance.
Right.
And this thing is of power.
Right.
This thing is of the Most High. So that's just another example of, you know what I mean, these characters having so much meaning.
God. I'm looking at mine.
Yep.
You know, the ha means fence.
God.
How would you pronounce that fence in the Hebrew? Hawam? No.
Kama.
Hama.
God. Kama.
God. Okay. So if I may. You don't mind, so I'm gonna just get rid of this.
Yep.
Get really.
So Ka'ar, what would your Ka'ar would be? You have the Ka, you have a lop, and you have a head, Rahash. So you have a fence.
Dang, and Salaki.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's heavy, because they would say my name means noble in the end. So how you about to break it down? If I may break it down.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hearing it. You got the fence, the Hama.
God.
You got the Alap, which means strength.
God.
Then you got the Ra'ash, which means head.
Ooh-wee.
So you got a fence, which you could say a barrier or
barrier. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And
you're like that.
A strong barrier to the head part is what's cold because it connects to the noble. When you really break down the meaning of noble, you know, admirable characteristics. So
I almost think of rank when I think of Ra'ash. When I think of head, I think of like you're the highest rank.
Oh,
so you're like you're almost like the strongest.
That's heavy.
Very like you're almost like the strongest protection to this gate.
That's heavy.
God. Now doesn't that has so much more meaning,
man? It
you know what I mean? Than noble.
You really I just like my name more now. You know what I mean? Like at first I was like, hey, Car. But it means noble. You know, niggas got code names like, you know, Lashawan. That shit's strong as hell. Kazakh. There's a bunch of Kazakhs.
Yeah. That Kazakh word, like a bunch of soldiers.
Yeah, I even like how Barakiala,
God.
Zorak, them niggas got strong names. And I was like, dang, Car. But he was like, It means noble. But when we break it down now, we get the full context of these characters, man.
God.
I just love my name even more, man.
Most High Christ.
Yeah, God. Dang.
Look, man, brothers got to start getting to this Hebrew class.
Yeah, for real. You could really get into what your name means, man. Wow.
You hear? I love when Qadash. You hear Qadash, like when Qadash breaks down names, he gets into the like indigenous names.
Yeah, God.
He'll be like, "This nigga is what, like bear warrior of the land." That's our names, Ka'ar.
The natives had names like Strong Cloud.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, or Mountain Rain.
God.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second, okay, sweetie. The Gamal. The Ga. Gamal. Which means camel.
God.
And you got, so okay, we did the Alap, the Bayath, Ga, Gamal, which means camel. Sorry, let me go. Alap, how? Bayath, Bayath, tent / house. The Ga is Gamal, which means camel.
God.
The Lath, means door.
God. I was thinking when you put down the Gamal, I was trying to think like what word do I know off the top of my head with a Ga, and the first word I thought was Gar, because you know how many times we break down Gentile. Okay. That's what Gar means, Gentile, boy.
Right. Okay.
And what does camel represent? It means it's like a way to travel. And then you have the Ra'ash again. That means head. So it's almost like you're the you're like the pillar of a long distance almost. You know what I mean? Or you're like the Ra'ash. What's another word or way of saying it?
Of saying Gar?
You're like the head of the destination. There you go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So again, all that word means, if we're just breaking it down, you know, with the characters, if you're the head of a destination, it just means, you know, it's somewhere you travel to, somewhere another place you go. Does this mean that you can't be an Israelite in another place you go?
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, we want to sit here with Christians and debate Gentile being other nations of people, when that word just means it's another destination.
Oh, God.
You see what I'm saying?
God.
And that, like, stuff like this, you know, and to any brother watching, I think about things like this when I'm in a battle sometimes, because you ever hear the brothers in the ISQPK just simply say Christians don't know the Bible?
That's
like
that's a beginning every time speaking.
Man, like that saying really goes so deep. Because I'm gonna sit here and have a conversation with you, and you don't even understand what a word means, and I gotta debate with you over Gentiles being another race of people or not. I want to see a Christian break down Gar in the Hebrew. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Break down what Gar means in the Hebrew, and let us have a conversation about Gentiles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch brothers all day cut a Christian just by bringing up the definition of Gentile. And it tells you that this word just means nation.
right.
It's not that deep.
Red. One second. Basket. And since you want to help, I'm not helping you. So sound it out. Basket. What do we start with? Make it big so the people at home can see. Come on now, you write big any other time. Make it bigger. Yeah. Okay. B. Bat. Yeah. Skit. All right. Nope. What's the other sound? What's the other sound? Bask. What's the other? Do you have to go to the bathroom? Go to the bathroom. You do have to go. You have to go. Yeah, that's a K, right? Nope, not I, but eh. Basket. Yeah. There you go. And what do they end with? There you go.
Thank Christ.
Good job. Go ahead, write your name. How do you write your name? A. What else? What's next? What's next? Your little hand. R. I think you're guessing now. That's a Y. Okay, it's a Y in there, but you skipped a lot of letters. Okay. What else? Another A? Okay. All right. Another A. All right. Yeah, we're working it at home. Yay. You missed a couple letters, but it's cool. Araya. Good job. Okay, sorry. Do it again. I just never raised it. Okay. Come on, do it again. Good job, guys. Thank you for your help. Now back to Hebrew class. Thank you. Yay. Clap it up. Clap it up. Good job. All right. We're gonna fill in that Assyrian as we go on, but we're gonna go through it again. I think we got down to the da, which was the lath, and means door. The ha is hana, which I got behold on there for that. So,
Khan. Yep, that's right.
okay. And then wa or the wa character is wa, which means fish hook, and you can kind of see that. You could definitely see. You can catch a fish with that, I guess.
God, I'll see if I can pull up a picture on it. It'll show you exactly what that is.
Oh, okay. The za means zayan, which means weapon. You got cha is chama, which means fence. We in class right now. Hold on. So ha is chama, which means fence. The ta is tana, means basket. Yes. Good job. The ya is yad, which means hand. The ka is cup, which means palm. I put behold or palm, so I guess I wrote. The kap means palm. The la is lamad or learn. And you can look at the notes we got up there. Y'all can write that in the Hebrew, in the Paleo Hebrew. Remember, write it from right to left. I'm gonna do this Syrian though. Why not? You know, I am gonna cheat. Go ahead and write that in the Syrian. And also write it in the Hebrew. Write the actual meaning down in the Hebrew. Yeah, go ahead and get that down in the Assyrian. Write the actual Hebrew word in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. I guess why not? I'm up here. Yeah, go ahead. How is that the weapon? What? Okay. I mean, Shaiwan, the brother, the Trooper Koyam had a question for you. If you could break down Zion, the weapon.
Zion. What are you asking on that about that character?
Try that mic up.
I guess how you related the cow to strength, and then I guess weapon. It'd just be weapon.
Yeah, the Zion it would just be a weapon. I think the Zion. For some reason I remember seeing a picture of like a two-bladed axe. But
Makes sense.
I would have to find that exact my exact notes on that.
But Salakia, sir, for me. Just kind of what I think he kind of saying, even with all these, is based in the context of the word being used, right, sir? So the character, like the way you related the Allah to strength or the I to strength, could it also, would the I also become a kind of different meaning in a different context?
Okay. I don't think I'm fully understanding the question.
So he's saying how, so we know a lot means cow.
Right.
He's saying how you related the cow being strength when you broke down Abba.
Right.
Because you got the context of, relating it to a father or a man within the usage of the I and the ba. Kind of get that word, that I in the actual word Abba being strength.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or, the tent being a house now. You know what I'm saying?
and he wants to know how Zion is used in the same way.
So yeah, and that's kind of what I was trying to say. Like, I guess we got weapon here, but if we use a Zion in a different context, could we say I guess a weapon kind of direct, and that's kind of what's special about Hebrew as well. It's kind of direct, but could it be a different meaning in a different context, kind of? But
Okay,
kind of direct.
Yeah. So okay, to answer that question straight, the answer is yes. Khan.
Okay.
Like you can, what we were never taught when it comes to the Bible is to use, how would I explain it? To use the basics of the English language to understand what it is we're reading.
Right.
There's let me pull this up on my screen.
Like kind of how we say practical knowledge. That's kind of what you're referring to?
No. Okay. So one of the things we learn in the English language is something called similes.
Let
me see if I can pull it up. Simile. I think it's called the different types of parables. Let me see. I wonder if you could help me. It's something called like the 5 different types of parables. I know a simile is one of them.
It's like simile, metaphor.
Yeah, simile, metaphor.
I'm gonna look it up for you. Pull it.
Standard metaphor, simple. Okay, I got something here. This isn't exactly it, but this will give a decent understanding. I'll share my screen. I have it written down somewhere. I can't remember the name of them. Let me see. Oh, that's not it.
I got an AI overview if you want that, sir.
Yeah, I have something called it's a simile, a standard metaphor, an allegory, implied metaphor, and a parable. Is that what you have?
Mine says similitudes, example stories, or illustrations.
Yeah, I think it's maybe they just use different words. But yeah, go ahead and read that.
It says parables are short illustrative stories using everyday analogies to convey moral or spiritual lessons, categorized by forms and theme. Key types include didactic.
Yep, that was one. I remember that. Didactic.
Allegorical.
Yep.
And narrative forms.
Keep going.
Often focusing on the kingdom of God, moral behavior.
That's weird. I don't even know why they brought that up.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But keep going, because I'm just looking for the definition.
Or stewardship. So then it says, here are 5 distinct kind of parables often categorized by scholars, similitudes, or comparison. Hey, stop, please. Comparison / metaphors.
Right. So read the definition of the similitude.
Similitudes, very short, realistic stories or figures of speech focusing on a direct comparison, often starting with the kingdom of God is like, such as a parable of the mustard seed or of the leaven in the loaf. I think this is the AI knowing who be typing there.
Right. But that's a good example. So for example, a similitude is like when you're using a figure of speech, but you're focusing on a direct comparison. So you're saying, let's say you say the kingdom of God is like blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous coming together in unity. That's an example of a similitude.
Right.
So you're not speaking literally. You're giving an example of a parable. And this is just how people communicate. It's like you're giving an example of something, in this example, something that's, something, what's the word? Glorious. You see what I'm saying? Like if I say the kingdom of heaven, everybody thinks of something that's glorious.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
God.
And then you give the similitude of what it is you're speaking of.
God.
So you say it's like blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous coming together.
Right.
Or you could say the kingdom of heaven is like, Quayam and his rib getting to being on one accord. That's a glorious thing. And you're giving a comparison to, something that everybody knows to be glorious.
God.
And this is how people speak. This is how especially blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous speak. You know what I mean? We say it all the time. We speak in parables.
Right.
There's different types of parables. And so anytime when it comes to understanding the Bible, Quayam, or reading the Bible, you see the word weapon inside of a sentence, you have to distinguish between, is this literal or is this a parable?
Salaki.
Go ahead.
Something, if I may, like they say the Bible is your weapon. You know what I mean? Like it's not a literal weapon, right? But
correct.
You understand, we cut motherfuckers every day with this Bible. Even in that cutting.
Sharpen your sword. We say that shit all the time.
God.
You know what I mean? And that's a perfect example of the Bible being, or the word weapon being used in a parable, of a scripture cutting somebody deep, or of a scripture hurting somebody or harming somebody. You know what I mean? You see, some brothers in the school, if they see, a sister married to a devil, and they are walking down the street, they are going to cut that woman to piss. They are going to use the scriptures and weaponize the scripture to say something that hurts that woman. You know what I mean? And so, is she literally bleeding out? No. But is her feelings hurt? Does she feel shame? Is she thinking about her life? Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's how you can use that word weapon or zayan in different contexts. And so that's a big thing that, you're going to learn in the ISUPK is when you're reading the scriptures, any word can be used as a metaphor or a parable.
God.
And sometimes it can be literal. Sometimes you just gotta read maybe 2 or 3 sentences either up or down to figure out if this is literal or if this is a metaphor. So I hope that answers your question, Quayam. Most high praise.
That was heavy. But it's 9 o'clock, sir. If you want to keep this for next week, I guess we can kind of finish, breaking those characters down, then we'll get into the suffixes and prefixes as well.
Con. Yeah, that'll be powerful because, there's always this is something I heard Commander General Yohana say, and it always sits with me when it comes to learning the Hebrew. Is first you got to learn the alphabet. After you get down the alphabet, you got to learn the prefixes and the suffixes. Once you get that down, you basically reading you're able to read and speak Hebrew. And so a lot of, for any brother or sister tuning in, when you come to these classes on Friday, it's so important to get down the alphabet, and it will help you so much if you start to memorize those prefixes and the suffixes. You know what I mean? And getting down those prefixes and suffixes, it's almost like you starting to get to like advanced Hebrew. You know what I mean? You get that down as your core, as your foundation, you're going to be in an extremely good place to speaking the language. You know what I mean? Speaking, reading, understanding our language. Those prefixes and suffixes, they bring a sentence together. You know what I mean? And so, like any language, you put a what do they call it? Basic sentence structures or simple sentence structures. You know what I mean? You put 3-4 words together, you got a sentence. You know what I mean? I have a car. That's 4 words, and you got a sentence. You know what I mean? So you get that down, you'll be in an excellent place to speaking the Hebrew. You know what I mean? So, we'll keep on with the basics. We get this stuff down. You know what I mean? And we'll keep on moving.
Before we close out, I'll just give a shout out to the people who checked in. And if you're still watching, like, comment, share, subscribe. We shout out to Awadra, he checked in. My Rib, she checked in. Shout out to you. Jana Williams, she checked in. Most High in Christ. The sister Shemayim checked in. River Mashah. She actually asked a question. She said, is there a book that we can study from? I believe, Shaiwan, you said there's a list on the ISUPK website that lays out all the books. I guess she was speaking on Hebrew specifically.
To answer that question, there's a Hebrew workbook that some of the teachers that teach the Hebrew they'll read through or they'll work through. You know what I mean? And that's just to answer your question. So yes, there is a book you can study from. I'll grab it really quick and put it on the screen.
While you're getting that, I'll just finish up these. Sister Aisha Banath, shout out to you, sis, always checking in. Carolyn Rasville, Rib and Mashah, shout out to you. Shout out my Rib to all the comments. We're gonna wait on Shaiwan.
Yeah, I got it here. So this is let me see. There you go. This is a book called the Basics of Biblical Hebrew Workbook. Okay. Let's see if I can just pull up one page. So you just pull up one page and you'll just see there is, pages that you can work through. And it's just to practice the Hebrew. Okay. And so that's just to answer your question. But I would recommend, sis, come to the classes. All right. You come to the classes on Friday, you'll get a lot further in the Hebrew than just going through that book by yourself. All right.
Most High in Christ. With that being said, we're gonna close out. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabarakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Latah Bashim Yahweh Shah to all the sisters. Shalom, Israel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're